You may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Claire Browning.
Claire? If you'll please step up from the witness stand, remain standing, raise your right hand, face first.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
My name is Claire Browning. First name is C-L-A-I-R-E. Last name is B-R-O-W-N-I-N-G.
May I proceed?
You may.
How are you employed?
I'm a senior crime scene analyst with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
How long have you worked as a crime scene analyst?
A little over 9 years now.
Okay. And you said you're a senior crime scene analyst?
I am.
Can you explain to the members of the jury first what a crime scene analyst does?
The duties of a crime scene analyst are to respond to crime scenes once we've been requested. We document the scene through notes, photography, a diagram if necessary, process for any latent prints, and collecting the evidence as it pertains to the crime.
And do you undergo training with Metro before you're allowed to work as a crime scene analyst?
Yes, we do.
And can you just give us an overview of that?
We go through a 12-week crime scene analyst academy, as well as a 12-week field training evaluation program, and we do continuing education classes after that.
And you mentioned that you're a senior crime scene analyst. Is there some testing or proficiency requirement or I guess experience that allows you to have that designation?
Yes.
And can you describe what that is for the jury?
We go through a testing process to promote to senior crime scene analysts. Once we are a senior, we are able to handle more complex calls to include homicides, officer-involved shootings, things of that nature. We also are responsible for training newer crime scene analysts and being an acting supervisor.
And you were working as a crime scene analyst on September the 3rd of 22.
Yes, I was.
Were you asked to respond to 7216 Bronze Circle?
That's correct.
What type of location is that?
It's a residential neighborhood.
Were you the only crime scene analyst that responded?
No, I was not. Senior crime scene analyst Christy Thomas also responded, and a crime scene analyst supervisor, Kaylin King, responded.
Now, when crime scene analysts arrive at a scene that's a possible homicide, I assume there's detectives and patrol officers there as well?
That's correct.
What kind of happens when you first get there?
When we first arrive on scene, we typically get a scene briefing, kind of the logistics of the scene, what we have, what items of evidence there potentially might be. We get that from a patrol officer, and then we kind of meet as a team to kind of determine how we're going to go about analyzing the scene.
And when you say you meet as a team, is that yourself and detectives?
That's correct.
Oh, and other crime scene analysts, I should say?
That's correct.
Do you all kind of take an overview of the scene before people get down into the work of it?
Yes, we typically do a walkthrough of the scene to kind of determine what's going to be important for us.
Okay. Now, you said that for homicide scenes, generally, there's more than one crime scene analyst that responds. How are the duties divided amongst the analysts?
It can vary from scene to scene, but typically, and especially on this scene, we divided it so that one crime scene analyst was doing the report and the photos, which was myself, and another crime scene analyst typically does the evidence and the diagram, which was Christy Thomas in this case.
And but all of you are sort of familiar with the scene because you're working it together?
Yes, we work in tandem.
Okay. And you were the photographer?
I was.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness? And I don't know if Mr. Horvath and Mr. Duffy, do you want to? Okay. Your Honor, just for the record, defense counsel has reviewed all these photos that I'm going to show her, the witness. Okay. I'm going to ask you just to look through these in groups, and this is states proposed 1 through 51. If you can just let me know if you recognize those photographs.
I recognize these.
Are they a fair and accurate depiction, with the exception of one, state's proposed one, of how the scene appeared on September the 3rd?
Yes, they are.
State moves to admit, I think two's already admitted, which is, so two, or I guess 3 through 51.
No objection.
And with respect to state's proposed one, does that appear to be like a Google image of the house?
Yes.
State moves to admit one.
No objection.
Thank you. The next series I'd like you to look at are state's proposed 52 to 105. If you could have a look at those.
Recognize these as well.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of sort of the inside of Mr. Gehrman's house?
Yes.
State moves to admit 52 to 105.
No objection.
Next group is 53 to 134.
I'm just actually a little bit. Thank you.
Recognize these.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of the outside and backyard area of Mr. Gehrman's house?
Yes.
State moves to admit 106 through 134.
No objection.
Next group is 135 through 148. There's just one more after that.
Recognize those?
Those appear to be the garage area and Mr. Gehrman's vehicle.
Yes.
State moves to admit 135 through 148.
We have no objection.
And the last group is state's proposed 149 through 161, if you could look through those.
Recognize those as well.
Okay, and for the record, state's proposed 149 is a diagram of the crime scene, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the remaining up to 161 are photographs that were taken on the 3rd?
Yes.
Fair and accurate representation of how they appeared with some of the crime scene analyst markers on them?
Yes.
State moves to admit 149 to 161.
We have no objection.
May I publish these, Your Honor? Thank you. So we're gonna start with, what's been admitted as states 1. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the front of the residence with a Google Street View.
Okay, and this is what's been admitted as states 2. And
The-
what are we looking at in that one?
This is the front of the residence on September 3rd.
Okay, now as we see it here, it looks like there's some crime scene tape on there, is that fair?
That's correct.
Who puts the crime scene tape up?
It's usually going to be the first responding officers.
Okay, and that was in place by the time you got there?
That's correct.
I'm gonna put on the overhead states 5. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the west side yard of that same residence.
Okay. And this is state 7. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is, again, the west side yard of that same residence. The gate in the back leads to the backyard, and in front of that gate, you can see the decedent.
Okay, that gate that we see in the backyard, did that have locks on it, or was it closed or anything?
No, there were gates on both the east and west sides of the house, and neither of them had a lock.
Okay. I'm now putting on the overhead, what's been admitted as states 10. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is a photograph of the decedent.
And when you and other crime scene analysts are noting, or I guess documenting the crime scene, is there any movement of the decedent before you take the photographs, or do you want to keep the scene as it was, and in your photography, I guess I should say?
Ideally, we keep the scene as pristine as we can. My photographs were actually taken after initial photographs of another CSA. They had already done an initial cursory body examination, and during that time, they discovered that the circumstances of his death were suspicious, so a homicide was called out.
Was there thinking at one point that it might have been a medical incident?
There was.
Okay, and then after that kind of was dispelled, then homicide and yourself respond?
That's correct.
Now, in terms of the decedent, was there an attempt to document any personal property that he had on his person?
Yes, there was.
And what did he have with him?
Inside the left front pocket of the shorts that he was wearing, he had a cell phone. Protruding from the left rear pocket of those same shorts was a wallet with cards and identification in the name Jeffrey Gehrman, as well as several US dollar bills in cash. And then in his right front pocket, there was a car key.
So I'm putting on the overhead states 40. Is that the cell phone that you just spoke of?
Yes, it is.
And this is states 41. What is that?
This is the car key.
And I think you mentioned a wallet as well?
That's correct.
Okay. This is states 43. That's his wallet?
That's correct.
Was there photography done on the inside of his wallet to see if there was any cash present?
Yes, there was.
This is states 46. And that was documented as well?
Yes.
Probably, do you know how much money he had on him, or?
I can't recall.
Okay.
The evidence was booked by crime scene analyst Christy Thomas.
Okay, but it didn't appear like there was money taken from his wallet because it's present.
It did not appear so.
And this is states 47. That would be his identification.
That's correct.
Now, the areas surrounding the body, did yourself and other crime scene analysts take note of the condition of those bushes and kind of shrubs?
Yes.
And what were your observations about them?
The bushes that were closest to the decedent had several broken branches. There was also apparent blood on those branches. and the rocks appeared to be disturbed around those bushes.
I'm putting on the overhead states 51. Is that an example of that?
Yes, it is.
And this is states 50. Sort of another view of the bushes with blood.
Yes.
You said the rocks around him were disturbed as well?
Yes.
Now, when you're dealing with the decedent's body, are there attempts made to preserve evidence in the form of DNA that might be on his person?
Yes.
And what is that?
We typically, whenever we are recovering a body from a scene, we're going to place handbags over their hands so we can preserve any kind of DNA evidence that might be on their hands or under their nails, whatever the case may be. We also wrap them in a clean sheet to preserve any trace evidence that might be on them.
I'm putting on the overhead states 37. What is that?
This is a representation of one of the bags that we put on his hand.
Okay. And this is states 36. That would be the other one, I think.
Yes,
And again, you said that's to preserve like DNA evidence?
that's correct.
Did yourself, detectives and crime scene analysts go into Mr. Garman's residence as well?
Yes, we did.
When you went into the residence, I guess I should say, what way did you make entry? Through the sort of the garage door that leads into the house or the front door?
I
or-
believe we made entry through the interior garage door.
Okay. Did you do any documentation of the front door to note its condition?
Yes,
Was there any damage to the front door?
there was no damage to the front door.
Okay, I'm putting on the overhead states 52. Is that the front door?
Yes, it is.
And the photograph is to document that it hasn't been kicked in or there's no damage to the frame?
That's correct.
How about the interior of the residence? How would you describe it?
The interior of the residence was actually very clean, very orderly. Everything was essentially in its place.
Have you been to residences where places have been ransacked or items have been taken?
Yes, I have.
Did this residence look like that at all?
No, it did not.
Did it look like there was any area of disturbance inside the residence?
No.
This is states 53. What part of the house is that?
This is the living room.
And again, no disturbance and his TV's present, everything looks pretty much in order.
Yes.
This is states 54. Is that just another view of the living room?
Yes, it is.
This is states 59. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the bedroom inside the residence.
And again, no sign of disturbance.
That's correct.
This is state 60. And we're looking at,
This is another view of the bedroom.
okay. I'm putting on the overhead now, state 64. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is like a sitting room that was just off of the living room.
No sign of disturbance in that room.
No.
This is state 66. And what room is that?
This is the office.
This is state 68. Appears to be sort of a closer view of his computer.
Yes.
Any sign of disturbance that you saw in that office area?
No.
Did you note the condition of like closets and cupboards to document whether or not there was any disturbance in those areas as well?
Yes, I did.
This is state 71. No disturbance in that closet, it appears.
That's correct.
And this is state 74. Sort of a cupboard, no disturbance.
That's correct.
And was it like that throughout the house? There was no sign of disturbance anywhere on the inside?
Correct.
Did Mr. Gehrman have medication that appeared undisturbed as well?
Yes, he did.
I want to move to, this is states 81, you can tell me. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the dining room area inside the residence.
Okay, and this is states 83. That dining room area to the right of it is a kitchen,
Yes,
and I see like a butcher block on the counter there. Did you document whether any knives were missing or anything like that?
there were no knives missing from the block.
Okay. This is states 89. What are we looking at there?
This is another view of the other side of the kitchen.
Okay, no sign of disturbance.
No sign of disturbance.
And this is states 91.
This is again another view of the kitchen.
And again, no indication of disturbance.
No disturbance.
I'm showing you now states 100. It appears to be a trash bag. What was done with that?
This trash bag was located on the floor in between that dining room area and the kitchen. It was just open on the floor like that. We went through it and looked for any kind of receipts to kind of determine a timeline.
And I'm putting on the overhead now, states 103. What is that?
This is a receipt from Roberto's,
Okay.
dated 9/2, I believe at 9:03 a.m.
Okay, and the date would be on the receipt here. Let me zoom in. Can you see it? Oh, I know. So we see the receipt from 9/2.
That's correct.
Okay. And the other part of the receipt has the time at 9:03 a.m.
Yes.
How about the, sort of the exterior of all of Mr. Gehrman's house? Was that documented by crime scene analysts as well?
Yes, it was.
And what was the purpose of that?
Just to document to see if there were any kind of disturbances or any way that somebody might have made entry into the residence.
This is states 106. Let me back up. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the west side gate that is just behind the decedent.
Okay, and that gate is closed, but there's not locks on it?
That's correct.
Was there any sign of disturbance around sort of the perimeter of the house?
There wasn't much of a disturbance. As you can see in that last photo, the gate is not latched all the way. So the door is closed, but it's not latched. Also, there's a window just north of that gate, so on the other side of the gate in the backyard. That window had a slash through the screen.
Okay, I'm putting on the overhead states 111. Can we see the window that you're talking about in that photograph? It's probably, can you see it or no?
I don't believe so. It's actually just beyond that bush on the left.
Okay, I'll try this one. This is states 113. Can you see looking at 113, can you see the slash mark on the window?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the linear line. through the-
Can you, there's a mouse up there?
Ah,
Yeah,
I believe that this is the slash.
okay. I'm gonna approach just so you're sure.
Yes, that appears to be so.
Okay. Did you take a closer look at that slash, or is there any further description you can give of it
There's just a tear in the
in the screen?
screen.
Okay. This is states 114. It might be a better picture of it. Is that the slash that you were talking about?
That's correct.
Any other disturbance though on the window, like on the inside of that corresponding room, broken glass, anything pushed out?
No, not that we noticed.
Okay. And as you continue to the back of the residence, any disturbance whatsoever?
Not that I recall.
Okay, this is, states 117. That appear to be the back of the residence?
Yes.
And then the back door that leads, I assume, into the kitchen area, no, that wasn't broken or any sign of disturbance to that as well?
No.
Mr. Gehrman's car was present at the scene?
Yes, it was.
This is states 135. And the keys were in his pocket, right?
That's correct. One key was in his pocket and one key was actually in the bedroom closet.
In the bedroom closet. The car itself, was it disturbed? Did you look at it on the inside?
We did open up the car. It was very clean on the inside.
Clean on the inside, nothing appeared out of the ordinary?
That's correct.
So the scene appears to be kind of confined to that side yard area.
Yes.
I'm gonna put on the overhead, states 149. What are we looking at in this exhibit?
This is a diagram of the crime scene.
Okay, now on this diagram, I see AB6, AB5, 15, AB4, and AB3, 2, and 1. What are those designations?
The AB 1 through, I believe it's 6, is apparent blood. So apparent blood stain 1 through 6. They're in different locations around the body. Number 15 is actually a broken branch that we located near the body that also had apparent blood on it.
Were swabs taken of these areas?
Yes.
And how do you guys do that at a scene?
Whenever we take swabs of apparent blood, especially in this case, AB1 and AB2 are actually going to just be the physical surface that the blood was on, so it's 2 rocks. 15, like I said, is a branch that had apparent blood on it, so that was booked just as a branch. However, I believe it's AB3 through AB6, we take a cotton swab, so think of it like a Q-tip. We put molecular water on it, which is just essentially clean water, and then we swab the stain and secure it in an envelope and submit it for evidence.
Now, prior to swabbing it, do you mark it on the ground or on wherever it is and photograph it so you know which one is AB 1, 2, 3, or 4?
That's correct.
I'm putting on the overhead states 150. And can you see the crime scene analyst markers on there?
Yes, you can.
And where should the jury be looking for those?
If you look here on the rocks, this is AB1 and AB2, I believe. The rocks themselves were collected. And then one of the designators is actually right here in the bush on the branch.
Okay. This is states 151. And are you able to see those markers as AB, well, I can read it with my glasses, AB1 and AB2?
Yes, AB1, AB2 are on the ground, AB3 is on the branch.
Okay, and those correspond to where they were on the diagram?
That's correct.
And so this would be AB3, which is on that branch.
Yes.
Now I'm putting on the overhead states 158. Appears to be like a outside decorative butterfly and a bird bath. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And were swabs taken from those items as well?
Yes.
And those would have been impounded the same way that you previously described?
That's correct.
And then are you, as a crime scene analyst, the person who does DNA testing or forensic testing on the item?
No, I do not.
Okay. I think that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination? Yes, thank you. Ms. Bryan, you had testified it was yourself and two other crime scene analysts.
That's correct.
The other two analysts were Thomas and King.
That's correct.
Did all three of you arrive at the address at the same time?
Approximately the same time, yes.
Approximately what time did you arrive?
1441.
Did you arrive in the same vehicle with crime scene analyst Thomas?
I don't believe so. I think we took separate vehicles.
Okay, same question for crime scene analyst King.
I think she also took a separate vehicle.
All right. You arrive at the residence. Who's present when you arrive?
When I arrived, crime scene analyst Janelle Bracken was there initially. She did the initial documentation of the decedent. I believe homicide had already arrived and there were patrol officers as well.
So when you arrived, and you testified that you arrived at presumably the same time that crime scene analyst Thomas and crime scene analyst King arrived, crime scene analyst Bracken was already there.
That's correct.
So now we have 4 crime scene analysts.
Yes, she responded to the scene initially on a dead body call. After they did their coroner examination, they determined that the circumstances of that death were suspicious. So as it was the end of her shift, swing shift, which is a shift that I work, took over, and she left the scene.
Are you aware of what time crime scene analyst Bracken arrived?
I am not sure what time she arrived.
When you arrived, you testified that homicide was there. You're referring to homicide detail?
Homicide detectives, that's correct.
And who was the principal detective, if you knew, of this crime scene investigation based upon your arrival and your understanding?
I believe the detectives that were the lead agents on the case were Detective Gaddis and Hawkins.
Gaddis and Hawkins.
That's correct.
And they belong basically to the homicide group or the homicide detail, fair to say?
That's correct.
How many detectives in total were present when you arrived?
I can't recall.
Fair to say there was a lot of people coming in and out?
There were,
Law enforcement.
yes, there were a lot of law enforcement on scene.
How many patrol officers were on scene, if you're aware?
I can't recall.
Are you aware of any Metro Intelligence officers that were present?
I don't recall that.
Okay. There may have been, you just don't recall.
That's correct.
Now, your responsibilities were primarily that of taking photos and generating a report in reference to those photos, fair to
Correct.
say? As well as the evidence diagram that we've reviewed with you, that's State's Exhibit 149, correct?
CSA Thomas was the one that impounded the evidence and generated the diagram.
Okay. So your primary responsibility was that of photographing.
That's correct.
We were shown photographs, and it was State's Exhibit 36 of the hands. Do you recall those?
That's correct, yeah.
You didn't place basically the covering on the hands, correct?
I can't recall which of us put the handbags over the
Okay.
hand.
So you may have put the handbags on the hands?
Typically, it'll be the crime scene analyst who is doing the evidence recovery will do that, but I can't recall.
Okay, and who would have that person been?
That would have been CSA Thomas.
But you don't know if it was CSA Thomas or yourself, correct, to put those baggies on?
I can't recall.
And fair to say, when you arrived, there were no bags on the hands, correct?
Correct.
And you don't know how long those hands were exposed prior to your arrival?
Correct.
You had given testimony concerning this knife block inside Mr. Gehrman's residence,
Yes.
and you had testified that no knives were missing from that particular block, correct? Did you, and this block was in the kitchen area,
Yes, it was.
did you open and review the drawers contained within, inside the kitchen?
Not that I recall.
Didn't photograph the contents?
No.
Didn't know what was in there before your arrival, a week before, or following your departure, correct?
No.
Did you take any measurements of the distance between the kitchen area to the scene where the photographs were taken of the blood and the other matters?
No, we did not.
You were asked to give testimony concerning the slash. It was State's Exhibit 113. And you characterize that as a slash, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry? You probably, I don't want to mess up your stack. I have 113, but actually I have it. Thank you very much. Can you see it? There's a delay. This is the slash that was referred to, correct? On
Yes.
that window? And that was on the other side of the gate where Mr. Gehrman was found, correct?
Correct.
And then a close-up of this slash is in Exhibit 115, correct?
Yes.
Now, you use the word slash, but you don't know whether or not that was slashed by a knife or was even cut, correct?
No, it's a defect.
A defect. So, I mean, the idea of slash, that's something that doesn't necessarily fit that photograph, does it?
It could potentially, but it is a defect in the screen.
It could have been a fray.
It could have been.
And are you aware of what level, what height this slash or this fray was from the ground?
I don't recall.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Can you direct?
Ms. Browning, when crime scene analysts are working scenes, it looks like you're on duty now, right? Is that what you would wear?
Yes.
Do you wear gloves?
Yes, we do.
What's the purpose of crime scene analysts wearing gloves?
It's to prevent any contamination or cross-contamination of the scene.
Okay, and do all crime scene analysts at murder scenes wear gloves in order to avoid that contamination?
Yes, we do. We actually double glove anytime that DNA is a concern.
Okay, and so whoever bagged the hands of Mr. Gehrman would have been double gloved?
That's correct.
Okay. When you got to the scene, I think you, well, we talked about there being crime scene tape up.
That's correct.
Okay. What's the purpose of the tape?
The tape is to keep any non-law enforcement personnel out of the scene.
When you've been at murder scenes in your work at Metro, in a murder scene, if you're law enforcement, is everybody allowed to go in the scene where the decedent is?
No.
What are the rules on that?
Typically, it's going to be people that are actively investigating the scene.
Okay, so anyone who happens to be standing around can't go into the scene?
Correct.
And are there steps taken by patrol officers, analysts, and detectives, everybody, to preserve scenes?
Yes.
And that's in order to preserve any possible evidence that might be present?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and follow up. You were part of a second group that arrived. There was a crime scene analyst, Bracken, who had arrived prior to you, correct?
Correct.
Initially, this wasn't treated as a homicide scene, was it?
Not initially.
So these concerns regarding preserving evidence and contamination obviously would have followed, fair to say?
Anytime that a decedent is on scene, we do our best to lock down the scene. We have patrol officers on scene. We put tape up. We take all the precautions as necessary.
But you weren't present. were
I
you?
was not present for that.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
No other questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down. You are excused from your subpoena. Thank you for being here.